Affirmative action. Stay with me, folks. Tonight's subject is tougher to sort through than Marv Albert's laundry. Now, I don't want to get off on a rant here, but 30-odd years ago, affirmative action definitely had its place in this country because when it came to hiring practices, minorities had a harder time getting through the door than Brando coming out of an airplane bathroom. As a matter of fact, let's not mince around here. In the history of this planet, no one group has inflicted more barbaric oppression on other groups than the white man. Ah, the white man. Pastis suppressius. Immediately after landing on these shores and tying up their boats, white European explorers' first instinct was to round up the quaint locals and force them to do the grunt work. With that blueprint in place, for many years, white Americans continued to do the wrong thing by playing a continent-wide game of keep away with the good life. And anybody who tells you that racism is a thing of the past has his head buried deeper in the sand than an armless clam digger. Having said all that, wow, I was moving quickly away from what I thought was a weak reference, but I'll come in and bask the glow. All that being said, affirmative action cannot be the solution to our current problems. Now, before you raise your pen to paper to demand my head, let me ask you this. Surely you're not insisting that individuals be given preferential treatment based solely on the color of their skin. And certainly you're not going to advance the position that minorities aren't as qualified as everybody else and need the booster chair to sit up at the big table. No, of course not. I didn't think so. Nobody's misguided enough to sell that wrong-headed spiel nowadays. And that's exactly why affirmative action is a mistake. It works on the theory that what you are is more important than who you are, while slyly reinforcing the hideous notion that women and minorities can never advance without special permission. Sure, I realize affirmative action was intended as a compensatory push to help fix the pendulum at a fair and equal center point. But more often than not in this country, when a good intention becomes institutionalized, the end result is further off the mark than the Boston Pops doing a Motorhead tribute album. Affirmative action left unchecked for the last 30 years has resulted in one of the greatest plagues of our millennium. Yes, that's right, vanilla ice. Now, it's true, I've never felt the numbing sting of knowing my application for a job was put in a different pile. My request for a bank loan was specially dog-eared, or a prospective landlord passed on me after peering through the peephole of the apartment I was hoping to rent. But I can't imagine being accepted merely because of my race would sit with me any better than being denied because of it. Now, being against affirmative action doesn't mean I am for discrimination. No, sir, not one bit. I detest discrimination in all its forms and have tailored my writing staff accordingly. I have a skirt, a Spanish guy, a couple of Jews, and the rest, normal people, just like me. But don't tell me I don't know what it's like to experience discrimination. For many years, I was on the outside looking in until a court order forced HBO to institute hiring quotas for cynical little pricks. Hey, it's up to us to decide if we want to live and work within a system that's based on merit or based on guilt. And while diversity in the workplace is certainly a desirable and noble goal, isn't qualified people doing a good job in the workplace even more important? Wouldn't it make more sense to level the playing field when it can really do some good and give everybody the same opportunities at the beginning of the game instead of midway through? Christ, have you taken a look at the inner city public school system lately? Why not take all the time, money, and effort that's being misused on filling employment and university quotas and put it into ensuring that every little tadpole out there gets to make the same size splash in the job pond? Come on, should the son of a wealthy black businessman really be admitted to a law school over the equally qualified son of a white cab driver? No, neither one should get in. This country already has enough goddamn lawyers as it is. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but the bottom line is if I'm doing 75 miles per hour on the freeway and I have to stop suddenly, I'm not wondering if a disabled black female Hispanic made my brake shoes. I'm wondering if they're gonna fucking work, okay? And when I put my life in the hands of a doctor, I want the person who scored the highest on the test, did the best research, and knows what they're doing. I don't care if they're black, white, male, or female, as long as they're Asian. Of course, that's just my opinion. I could be wrong.